If you have your packets out, calculator, make sure it's in degree mode for me. Two more opportunities this week to raise your grade. We're going to have the fourth pop quiz of the unit tomorrow, and then we'll cover days 9 and 10. Okay, so everything we did Friday and everything we're doing today will be covered on tomorrow's pop quiz, and then there'll be a second one on Wednesday of this week, and that'll cover day 11. All right, so 2 this week. Tomorrow, which will cover Friday and today, and then Wednesday, which will cover Tuesday stuff. And that'll be it for the week. All right, so 2 pop quizzes tomorrow and Wednesday. All right, real quick, this isn't in your notes, but I do want to go over what we went over on Friday. I got the unit circle up here. All right, you can tell I put a 1 right here on the radius. I just really quickly going to call on 3 of you. Make sure we know the coordinates at 30, 45, and 60. Okay, 30, 45, and 60. So let me start with what's the coordinate at 30 degrees on the unit circle. Coordinate at 30. Because pop quiz tomorrow, that'll be on there, and you can't look back at your notes, unfortunately. All right, so we got to know those off the top of our head tomorrow. So at 30 degrees, what's the coordinate? I'm just going to keep going here. Olivia, what's the coordinate at 30? There you go, radical 3 over 2, 1/2. Any issues there? How about at 45? That should be the easiest out of the 3 to remember. We have 12. Go ahead, Zach.
2 over 2.
Yep.
2 over 2.
Yep. Oh, both the same. That's why I say it's the easiest one to remember. They're both the same. And then honestly, if you know 30, you should know 60. Okay, if you know 30, you should know 60. 14, nope. Gonna hear from people today. 22, Jeremy at 60.
1/2 and radical 3 over 2.
Yeah, basically, if you know 30, you just flip them, right? If you know 30, just flip the coordinates. All right, so there they are. Questions on those 3. Got to know them for the pop quiz tomorrow, and we're still going to use them today. We're not going to forget about them. All right, then, real quickly, how do I figure out at 240? What's my angle at 240 then? What's my coordinate at 240? First thing you got to do is find the reference angle, because the reference angle should be one of these 3 we just went over. So 240 reference angle. Plug them in your calculator if you need to. 11, going, nope. 10, nope. 20. Sarah, what's reference angle for 40?
60.
Okay, so 60 degrees. So now I say to myself, all right, what's the coordinate at 60? We just went over 1/2 radical 3 over 1/2 radical 3 over 2. Just what's the only thing you got to pay attention to, because I'm not in the first quadrant? The signs. If I'm in the third quadrant, the x's are negative and so are the y's. So that's the coordinate at 240. Any questions here? Because we're actually going to use these coordinates today. You know, Friday, all I was concerned, make sure you could find them. Today, we're actually going to use them. All right. Today, we'll use them. All right. So let's go, because it's not too many notes today, and hopefully you guys can get started on the assignment. All right. I have my unit circle right here. I don't need to write it down, but we've got the unit circle. What I want to do right now, I'm giving you an angle theta. I want to find the sine. Notice I've labeled the hypotenuse a 1. This side is x, and this side is y. I want you guys to help me find the sine of theta here. And I'll give you a little hint. Only way we can do it in a right triangle. Let's go back to the first half of this unit, SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA. How do you find sine? What 2 sides do I need to find sine? If I'm using a right triangle in SOHCAHTOA, what 2 sides do I need? 10, nope. Just keep grinding away here. 21, nope. Here we go. 16. All right, hey, here we go. Actually, you know what? Can we do this, please, so we don't drive each other nuts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Done. There we go. Now we'll get an answer every time. We'll rock. 9. What 2 sides do I use if I got to use sine? opposite over hypotenuse. All right, so everyone go look at my diagram right now. Here's your angle theta. Tell me what side is labeled as opposite and what is the hypotenuse labeled as. All right, because all three sides are labeled, x, y, and 1. So tell me what the hypotenuse and the opposite side is labeled. Here we go, 6. What's the opposite side labeled?
Is it
Y, yep, good. And then what's the hypotenuse length? 1, there we go. So it's y over 1. Let's keep going a little bit further. What's anything divided by 1? Itself. So this is just going to be, the sine is equal to y. I'll get back to that in a second. Can you do the same thing now, but go to cosine for me? Let's do cosine of theta. Which is what two sides, according to SOHCAHTOA, do I need to break out here? 1. I don't want to know the actual sides. Just in SOHCAHTOA, what's with cosine?
Adjacent.
There you go. Adjacent over hypotenuse. Tell me what's adjacent to theta and the hypotenuse now.
X.
No. Oh, you're going to. Okay, go ahead. It's all right. It is your bad, but go ahead.
X over 1.
X over 1. And same thing. Can you guys anything divided by 1 here? Itself. So this is just going to be equal to?
X.
Yeah. All right. So what did we do here? What did you just prove? If we're using the unit circle, if we're on the unit circle, the cosine will be always equal to which coordinate? What did you guys just find cosine's equal to? All right, forget that now, Connor. It's already equal to the what coordinate? The x coordinate. All right, whatever the x coordinate is, that's the cosine value. And then if I'm looking for sine, the sine's always equal to the y value. Okay? Whatever the x coordinate is, that's your cosine value. Whatever y is, that's your sine. Watch how we're going to use this. Let me go back here. You don't have to write anything down. This is how we're going to do it. Ready? What if I want to know the value of cosine of 60 now? Cosine of 60. So everyone go to 60. You know the ordered pair. That's what we worked on all Friday. Which coordinate represents cosine? X or y? You guys just wrote it down. X or y represents cosine. So what's the x coordinate at 60 degrees? Everyone go to your calculator right now. Hit cosine of 60. Cosine of 60? 0.5, 1/2. That's how we're going to use them now. Ready? Hold on. Well, I'm not done yet. Sine of 240. I don't want the decimal on your calculator, though. Remember the coordinate we just found at 240? Which one, the x or the y, is the sine value? The y. What's the y value? Negative radical 3 over 2. And if you do sine of 240 on your calculator, you get a negative decimal. And if you do negative radical 3 over 2, you'll get the same negative decimal. That's how we're going to use the coordinates now. The x is the cosine, the y is the sine. Okay? Anything you want to ask? So we're actually going to use these coordinates you've been finding for the last day now. All right, so let's start finishing this up now. Can you guys do me a favor? Can you make a quick sketch of an XY graph and a unit circle on there for me? Just draw your own unit circle off to the side here. And just draw your own unit circle. This will just help us out, make things go a little quicker. And can you help me out? I want to fill in the coordinates at each of the axes now. Can you guys remember those for me at the axes? All right, so here we go. We're going to start calling out people again. So at 0 degrees, if you got to look back in your notes, please do at 0. What was that point right here on this circle? What was that point at 0 degrees? Remember, it goes out to 1. 11? What?
0, 1.
0, 1 is coming up, not right now. Remember, this goes out to 1 here.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be 0, 1.
Here too.
I never want to use 2, Sarah, because how long is each of these here? If I'm on the unit circle, they're only 1. So I'm only using 0s and 1s here. So if I go out to this point on the x-axis, this is 1, 0. Okay, 1 on the x, 0 on the y. Good? Keep going around here with me. 90 degrees. What's that point at 90 degrees? 8. That's 0, positive 1. What about at 180 now? 180, everybody. Do that up here. 180, what's that point? Because we're going to need these here to answer the questions. 9?
-1 and 0.
-1, 0. And then finally at 270 down here. What's that point? 3? 0, -1. Perfect. All right, let's just keep those up there because we're going to need them. You guys ready? And we're also going to have to figure out, what was those quick conversion ones too? All right, find the value of f of pi if I'm given sine of 2x. Sine of 2x. And I don't know if you guys remember these from last year, but whatever's inside the parenthesis that it gets plugged in for what variable? F of pi here. X, yep. So I'm going to plug a pi in right here for x. So I need your help. Sine of not 2x, but 2 pi. What's the sine of 2 pi? So can we, if you got to look back in your notes, look back. But anybody remember, 2 pi, 2 pi, 2 pi, in degrees, degrees, degrees. Don't yell anything out. Look back if you need to. 2 pi in degrees. 1? 360. So what I'm asking you guys is, what's the sine of 360 here? No calculator, don't need it. Are we okay? 2 pi equals 360. Do we know where 360 is on my graph? 1, 0, right? 1, 0. Just go back to the work we just did. Which coordinate represents sine? The y coordinate. What's the y coordinate? We're done. See how this works? X coordinate is your cosine value. Y coordinate is your sine. 2 pi is equal to 360. That's why I went with this coordinate. And why did I pluck off 0? It's the y, which represents sine. Sine. All right, let's keep going. Cosine of pi over 2 plus 2 sine 0. Let's see what this adds up to. All right, well, I got to know what pi over 2 is, right? Look back if you need to. Pi over 2, that was equal to 11. Look back if you need to. That's the only way you're going to remember. Pi over 2. I think we did it at the beginning of Friday's notes. We wrote them all down.
Yeah.
If you chose to. Do you remember what pi was?
It was 180.
Okay, now I'm dividing by 2. What is it? 90. So everyone go to 90 right now. 0, 1. I'm looking for the cosine. What coordinate do I want? X or y for cosine? I want x, which is 0. Cosine of pi over 2 is 0. Everyone all right on how I got that? X coordinate is cosine, and I'm at 90. So I pick off the x coordinate. Plus 2 times sine of 0. So everyone goes to the 0. 1, 0. Do I want the x or the y if I'm finding sine? The y coordinate, which is 0. So 0 plus 2 times 0. 0. Oh, I don't know about this next one. We'll see. Questions? All right, last one. -2 times the cosine of 180. I'm just going to ask somebody now. Cosine of 180. Look where 180 is, and which one do I need for cosine? Think in your head. Where's 180? Which one do I need if I'm going to ask cosine? So just ready? Cosine of 180. Here we go. I just want to know the answer. Cosine 180. 2?
0.
0. Cosine. Which are we taking, the x or the y for cosine, Connor? We want to look back. Which one are we taking for cosine? The x. So which one's the x at 180? It's going to be -1. So I plug in the -1. We're all good. Plus 3 sine 270. Look at 270. Figure out which coordinate I need out of those two. Sine of 270. What do you got for me? 8. -1, the y coordinate. And then you take over from here. Two plus -3. Hey, I don't get 0 here, huh? I get -1. You and your group are individually right now. Go, fill in that chart for me. Fill in the chart. If you're at 90, what's the sine and cosine? If you're at 180, 270, and 360. What's the sine and cosine? Hopefully now we're starting. Oh, geez, I do need to know these coordinates. Sine is your y, cosine is your x. However you decide to remember that. Some kids tell me years past cosine comes first in the alphabet, or would come first in the dictionary. So you put the one that would come first in the alphabet with just x with it. However you want to remember it. Okay, let's roll. 4 different people. Give me 90 degrees, sine and cosine of 90. Here we go. 9, sine of 90. 1 cosine. 0. There you go. 180. 8 sine of 180. 0 and cosine. Good job. 270. You guys are doing great. Doing great. 11. 270 sine and cosine. Good. And finally 360, aka 0. 1. What do we got for sine? 0 and cosine. 1. Okay, perfect. Hey, this is all you need. I would never expect you to memorize the table. Absolutely not. This is all you need right here. Know those 4 points. All right, let's get away from the quadrantal angles and let's go back to 30, 60, and 45. All right, so use the unit circle diagram to determine the exact value of these angles. All right, first, whoa. This is your first time seeing these directions, and you're going to see them a heck of a lot more. Exact value. Please jot this down somewhere. When you're asked for exact value, the long decimal on your calculator will never, ever cut it. All right, so exact value means fractions / radicals. And let's make this clear right now. No decimals. When you are asked for an exact value of sine, cosine. All right, no decimals. I want fractions or radicals in my answer, or both. But absolutely no decimals if you're asked for the exact value. All right, here we go, sine of 30. So right now, here's your train of thought. 30. I got to go to 30 on the unit circle. What's that coordinate? Let's start there. 30 on the unit circle. What's the coordinate? 4. What's the coordinate at 30?
The thing at 30 is square 3 over 2, and then 1 over 2.
Okay, I got to know that, right? I got to know that. Now I'm looking for the sine. So out of those two values from today, which value do I want to pluck off if I want sine? 9?
You take the y.
Which is?
1/2.
Done. Sine of 30, 1/2. And look, it's about a 2-second check. Go to your calculator. Do sine of 30. Go ahead, hurry up. Let's go. Sine of 30. I'll do it with you. You can do a quick check. Sine of 30, 0.5. Look, quick check right there. Done. I did it correctly. Sine of 45. Sine of 45. And again, I'm going to tell, it's not going to do you any good, guys, to do this, because I don't want that. That's not exact value. I told you that. No decimals. That's why I got to know the darn coordinate at 45, which is 45, 9. Jeremy, again, what's the coordinate at 45? Oh, come on. What are you looking back for? We should know this already. Same X, same Y.
Radical 2 over 2 is 1/2.
Excuse me? At 45? They're different. 45 degrees. Radical 2 over 2. Radical 2 over 2. Yes? No?
Then I must have rolled down.
What were we doing on Friday, huh? Sine of 45? It doesn't even matter, right? You could guess wrong and you're right. Right? It's radical 2 over 2. And remember that decimal I just showed you in the calculator that was unacceptable? Here you go. Radical 2 over 2. There it was. Same thing. Right? But I need it in fraction radical form. And finally, how about cosine of 30? Well, I already have 30 degrees up here, radical 3 over 2, 1/2. So you tell me what coordinate you need. Cosine of 30. 9 again. Let's go, Jeremy. Come on. Cosine of 30.
It'll be radical 3 over 2.
Done. Yep. And if you check on your calculator, they're the same decimals. We feel all right? Because that's it today. I'm going to stay right in the first quadrant. Okay, tomorrow after your pop quiz, we'll go into different quadrants. But for now, we'll stay in the first. And then finally, number 3. My terminal side goes through this point, -6, -0.6, 0.8. And then here's the biggest part. That point's where? Keep reading. -0.6, 0.8. Where does it lie? That's the biggest thing in this problem, is it's on the unit circle. Why is that huge? Why is that huge for me? The x coordinate is equal to what? Well, I know, yep, but the x on the unit circle is what value? No. Cosine, right? And y is the sine. That's huge. Knowing any points on the unit circle automatically tells us, oh, whatever the x is cosine, whatever the y is sine. Which of the following is sine? Out of these 2 points, which one's the sine value? -0.6 or 0.8? Why 0.8? It's the y coordinate, and it's sine. I'm looking for sine, so I go for the y coordinate. Everyone see, yes? That's my y coordinate here. So that's all I literally do is look at the point and say, what's the y coordinate? 0.8, there's your sine value. Now that's it. All right? That's all I got. That's all I got. I will, you guys can look up the answers too, but I'll also post them on the board so you can see what's going on. Work with anybody else if you want. So you guys know what's on the pop quiz tomorrow, what we just went through right here. And stuff from Friday. So please look at the assignments from both days. Assignment from Friday and the assignment you're doing now. That's what the pop quiz will look like. One question from each day. One question from each day.